world. This is Lil John Roberts, and you know I got soul.
Alright, Lil John Roberts. So, before we talk about your project you got, the Heartbeat, kind of talk about your origins of music. You know, you're a well-known drummer. You've performed with some of the greats. How'd you get your start? How'd you get into all this?
Started in my dad's church, which a lot of musicians that's, in the R&B and jazz world, a lot of guys, started in their churches. And a lot of us still play in churches now, but that was my first, introduction to music.
Right. Can you kind of take us through some of the names you've worked with through the years?
Okay, yeah. So like from the timeline, Wynton Marsalis was the first person that took me in with straight ahead jazz, playing Duke Ellington, music. Then going to Berklee College of Music, studying for a while, getting a call to go out with Miss Janet Jackson. I've worked with Dion Farris. Once I moved to Atlanta, I worked with her, Escape, Monica, the Goody Mob. It's a lot of different styles of music, through the timeline of my career. And I was introduced to George Howard, who introduced me to George Duke, who introduced me to Rochelle Farrell. Then a whole nother world opened up as far as that side of the music is concerned. So Jonathan Butler, Diane Reeves. I was doing a lot of contemporary jazz records for Boney James and Walter Beasley and Rick Braun, a lot of that stuff. But yeah, Janet Jackson was the one that took me over with the pop world.
Right.
So I played with her for about 17 years.
So at what point did you realize you wanted to do a solo album and kind of start building your own name?
I had wanted to do that for a while, but I had always been investing my time in everybody else's projects. So every time I did somebody else's stuff, it pushed me back from doing my own thing. So just one day I just woke up and just said, okay, it's time for me to do my own thing now.
Right.
And then I reached out to all of my friends and musicians that I like to play with, artists that I respect and that are friends with me as well. So that's how all of that came together with the record.
And on this record, the Heartbeat, I took a listen. I hear a bunch of different sounds. There's R&B, there's rock, there's jazz, there's funk, there's all types of different things. What influenced you on all those different sounds to create that?
Just doing so many different styles of music with different other artists. I never wanted to ever put myself in one box. So, I love rock. I love to rock out, I love to play straight ahead jazz sometimes, Sometimes I like to just play R&B. So I had to do a record that best described me, as a musician and as a producer.
So you just released a video for Space. It's a huge collaboration, 4 very talented artists and singers on there. Kind of talk about how the song came together.
Okay, the first thing that was the first record that I did, first session I should say that I did for this record. I went in the studio with some friends that were in town. They were on the road with D'Angelo, Chris Dave playing drums. We played double drums together. Pino Palladino was there. James Poyser played keys on top of it after we had done the first, the rhythm section tracks. Melvin Jones, who's a trumpet player in Atlanta. So we put the track down first, and then once I listened back to it, because we had like 3 hours to record a bunch of stuff, and that was the first recording that we had done that night. And I listened back and was like, this is a song, and I got to do something with it, So I went back in, started cutting things up, like making it into to make sense for 16 bars and 12 bar verses kind of thing. And then I started sending it to people like Stickman from Dead Prez. He was the first guy that I got on because I was like, maybe I should get a rapper on this because of the vibe of the track. And he sent stuff back to me, it was killing. But we never had a chance to finish it. So I had to move on. I was like, all right, who else would fit this track? I didn't just want to put names on it. I wanted to get the right people that fit whatever track I was doing. So I reached out to Eric Roberson, who was my homeboy. We from Philly, Delaware, Jersey. And he heard it, immediately wrote a hook to it, sent it back to me. I was like, man, I love the hook. can you put a verse on it? He put a verse on it, send it back. I reached out to my boy Anthony David, who was in Atlanta with me. We rolled together a lot. Cool, been friends for over, almost 20 years. And he wrote a verse, sent it back, same deal. Stokley, we had been talking about doing something together, on this project eventually. So I said, I got this track, you want to check it out? I sent it to him, he wrote a verse, sent it back, same thing. Musiq heard the track before any of them, and when he heard it, the little breakdown where he comes in, he said, that spot right there, I want that. Whatever you do, I want that breakdown right there. So I had to remember, like, don't do nothing for this breakdown. Make sure Musiq gets this. So he came in the studio, did his breakdown, his verse, and that's how that song came together. Just,
awesome.
Cut up, yeah.
You have Musiq on another song on the project, It's Your Time. Chante Cann's on the song too. Talk about that song.
Okay, so that song came from Aaron Harden, who's in DC. He sent me a track, because we had been talking about doing things together as well. He sent me a few tracks, and that one particular one stood out. It had no drums on it, just had like keys and bass like he played on it, and like some brushes on it. Zachariah McGant is his other partner. They both did it together, and they sent it to me. I said, oh, okay. I went in, played drums on it, and I was like, man, I gotta get somebody to sing on this, because at first it was just gonna be an interlude, because it's very short. And I had Musiq hanging out with me. I said, man, Musiq, listen to this track I got here. He heard it, he was like, woo! He was like, and he didn't want to like jump on and say, man, let me sing on it, I was like, how you feel about this? You hearing something? He was like, yeah, I kind of feel something with this. Let's see what's up. I let him hear it. That same night, I saw Chante Cann at a spot in Atlanta. Pulled her in my car. I said, Chante, listen to this. She heard it. She was like, woo, this is sweet.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? I just let Musiq hear it. I let you hear it. Both of y'all like it. Why don't y'all sing a duet together? And that's how that came together.
Awesome. Now you've got Robert Glasper on this project too, and he had a lot of success. He's also a musician who's had a lot of success, and he put out a couple great albums. He got a lot of success there. Were you influenced by that at all? What he's been able to do?
Well, me and Robert are homeboys too for a long time. When he comes in Atlanta, we set up vibe sessions, or we even did a few nights together, like playing, and Chante was there with us as well. And when he heard the record, that particular record for It's Your Time, he said, man, we should do an interlude for this, I said, okay, cool, what you hearing? So we went in the studio, just started messing around. First tape, that's what came out from the interlude of It's Your Time. Awesome. And then once I got that done, I called Derek Hodge. He played on it, because me and Robert had just did it by ourselves, and just left it alone. And I hit up Derek Hodge, who's another brother of mine from Delaware. And I said, Derek, you mind playing on this? Like, man, this is hot. I'm going to play something. I'm going to send it back to you. Which we do a lot these days now, because everybody can't be in the studio at the same time, especially with our schedules and all. So we can do tracks and send it back to each other, files and all. And after that was done. Messina, another friend of mine, I said, Messina, you want to jump on this? She's like, okay. She comes in the studio and just starts vibing. She's singing oohs and ahs and all that kind of stuff, and she layers this stuff out. And so that's what you hear with Messina singing in that break as well. And then I had some Cuban drummers along with me. We played some 6/8 stuff on top of the 4/4, of the song. So. Yeah.
All right, and last question for you. How's it been, stepping out from behind the scenes as a musician and being, promoting this album now? Has it been challenging for you? Talk about that.
Well, coming out with this record as an independent artist, I have help from Purpose Records, who I'm very grateful to, George Lil John and Russell Johnson, and also my friend Jodine Dorsey, who's been very instrumental in helping me put this record together, actually introducing me to George Lil John and those guys. And but yeah, it's an independent venture. I have a distribution deal with them, so I'm not signed as a major artist. So I don't have that major artist machine, like a lot of people have. So basically, it's really off the reputation of, me and my career, my history, and in conjunction with the machine that Purpose Records has as distribution to get it where it needs to go, and they've done so good with, like, you know, online interaction with people, and just, you know, just getting the word out there in the right places and the relationships that we all have. So that's the main thing, is just to get it out where it needs to go for people to hear it, and then they want to get it, you know. So I've been fortunate to have those good combinations together.
Awesome. Anything you want to add?
Man, I'm just happy for the response of this record and the love that I've been getting all over. I mean, from the States to Japan to the UK, and I just want to thank everybody for, you know, believing in my project and investing in it with your money, you know, all like that. So, you know, I'm very happy for the response that I've gotten, and I'm very grateful. Thank you.